Sweet Mother Mary. I watched the new HBO Harry Potter trailer last night, and within the first minute I already had that very specific sinking feeling. You know, the one where your stomach drops because you're not watching something new, you're watching something that probably shouldn't exist in the first place. And your brain is desperately trying to figure out why it feels so off, while the trailer is still out here doing the Wizarding the world's saddest sales pitch. And before I even get into this properly, do me a favor, if you enjoy honest takes that don't sugarcoat things and actually say what people are thinking but are too polite to say it out loud, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got a lot more of this coming, and trust me, we're not gonna go easy on anything. Now let's talk about whatever this thing is supposed to be, because here's the thing that immediately doesn't sit right with me. Why are we even here? Why are we rebooting Harry Potter when the original films are still completely watchable today? Sure, if you want to be a hater, you can laugh at the early 2000s CGI where Voldemort looks like he escaped a PlayStation 2 cutscene after a bad graphics mod. But that stuff had charm. It never took you out of the movie because the rest of it was so strong you just rolled with it.
Yeah, boy.
This trailer doesn't even have that luxury. The second it starts, everything looks way too clean, way too bright, you know, and way too, we spent $400 million on this polish. Like someone took the slightly dark, mysterious, almost cozy, magical atmosphere that made Hogwarts feel like a real place you'd actually want to attend, and replaced it with a generic fantasy Netflix backdrop, scroll past and forget about before the kettle boils.
Not a great plan.
And that's where the problem begins. This isn't about the small details or whether a character looks a little different. This is about the fact that it doesn't feel like Harry Potter anymore. It feels like a very expensive cosplay of Harry Potter. Like someone tried to rebuild the Mona Lisa using only IKEA instructions and a dream. Now, I will give credit where it's due. The kid playing Harry actually works for me. He gives off that young Daniel Radcliffe energy. So for about 3 glorious seconds, I thought, okay, they got at least one thing right. Then the rest of the cast showed up, and that hope died faster than a house elf who looked at Lucius Malfoy wrong. Ron feels off. Not Rupert Grint is impossible to replace off. Though, let's be honest, he is, but more like we cast the guy who plays every best friend's every CW show off. Malfoy has zero of that sharp, aristocratic, instantly punchable sneer that make you want to hack him on sight. Hagrid looks like they remembered the beard and the coat from a Pinterest board, but forgot the actual giant soul that made him lovable instead of just tall and hairy. And don't even get me started on Snape. Yeah, I know, we're going there. They race-swapped Severus Snape, the greasiest, most British, most I hate children and everything they stand for character in the entire series. And they turned him into someone who looks like he just got back from a wellness retreat in Sedona.
Oh my god! What is that?
I'm sorry, but that's not bold casting. That is just fanfic with a budget. The man was supposed to look like he crawled out of a dungeon after 3 days chain smoking and emotional damage.
Emotional damage!
Not whatever this is. Oh, and Dumbledore, you say? My guy looks like a depressed hermit who gave up on life, moved into the woods and started selling essential oils on Etsy. Where's the twinkly-eyed chaos goblin? Where's the I'm 150 years old and I still party harder than all of you energy? This version looks like he's one bad owl away from retiring to a cave and yelling at clouds. Across the board, instead of characters, I feel like I'm watching very committed actors walking through extremely expensive sets. And that completely shatters the illusion. Harry Potter was never just a story, it was the vibe. That perfect balance of wonder and danger. The feeling that Hogwarts was both the safest place on Earth and the place where you could absolutely die in 17 different creative ways for breakfast.
No.
He's got a point.
This trailer has none of that. Everything feels cold and staged. Everything feels like a high-budget fan film that watched the movies once on 1.5 times speed and took notes in crayon. The longer it goes on, the more it feels like you're trapped in an alternate universe Harry Potter dream. Everything looks vaguely familiar, but nothing feels right. It's the uncanny valley with a wand, and that's what makes it so frustrating. This isn't some plucky little indie project trying its best. This is HBO. HP is one of the biggest franchises on the planet, and they still managed to make it feel cheap. Try to make sense of that one. People keep saying, but the TV format will let them explore the classes and the side characters. Yeah, great. You can stretch out the story if the world actually feels believable. Right now, it feels like they built a perfect replica of Hogwarts out of cardboard and hope. So here is the one question this trailer never answers. Why? They could have told new stories, explored the wizarding world in different eras, given us an older Harry dealing with adult wizarding bureaucracy and a midlife crisis. Instead, they went back to the beginning and somehow made the magic field smaller. This whole thing just reeks of the safest possible corporate decision.
People will watch it because it says Harry Potter on the tin.
And that's exactly why it feels empty. You cannot recreate magic by copying the surface. This feels like it doesn't have any of it. Could it still turn out good? Technically, sure.
To be honest, meh.
I could also wake up tomorrow with a pet dragon and a lottery win.
No way. Yes way.
But based on this trailer, this doesn't look like something that understands what it is trying to be. And that, my friends, is not something you fix with more episodes. This doesn't feel like magic, it feels like a product. And those two things don't gel well together.
No shit.
So HBO, this is my letter to you. What an absolute unit of a franchise you had on your hands, only to see it fumble so hard, is truly something we can write and make videos on for years to come. So on that note, I want to thank you for your incompetence in giving us so much comedy gold. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks for checking out the video and making it till the end. Catch you all on the flip-flop.